Hey everybody, Miss Teacher here. We're taking a look at question number 2. A rectangular window is 45 inches wide and has a perimeter of 270 inches. Which statement is not true? So I think what we'll do is we'll write T or F next to each one so that'll help us figure out which one's the not true one, which is really the same thing as false. Now let's draw the window and label what we know. So we know that the width is 45. We don't know the length, but we do know the perimeter. They give us the perimeter. And you may recall from 5th grade that one formula that you can use to find the perimeter of a rectangle is perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Or you can just add up all this and have it equal 270. That's another option. Now let's substitute in what we know. We know the perimeter is 270, so we're going to plug that underneath the P. We don't know the length, but we do know the width. We'll substitute in 45 for the width. Next, we'll simplify this. 2 times 45 gives us 90, and we'll copy everything else that's left. So we essentially just did this and got this. Now, we have an algebra equation still. We have to isolate the variable. And how are we going to isolate that? Well, we're going to use our inverse operations. The opposite of add 90 is to subtract 90, and we have to do that to both sides of the equation. This will cancel out. We'll bring down the 2L, bring down the equal sign. 270 minus 90 would give us 180, and we'll have this. All right, so now we're still looking at algebra. We have to apply our inverse operations to isolate the variable. What's the opposite of multiply a variable by 2? Well, it would be to divide by 2, and we would show that using a fraction bar and write divide by 2. So the next thing for you to do is to, let's delete this so we don't get confused, to know that that cancels out, bring down the equal sign, bring down the L, divide this, and get a number. Now whatever number you get, so you're going to have some number that you're going to put in this box, you should write it right here. And you might even want to write it over here because whatever this is the same thing. And just make sure when you add everything up, the number that you have does indeed add up to be 270. All right, now let's look at the choices, because remember we have to pick the one that's not true, which is really a fancy way of saying false. Pick the false statement. Pick the false statement. All right, if we look at choice A, the length of the window is 225. Well, is that what you got? Did you get that when you did 180 divided by 2? Choice B, write true or false, by the way, next to that. B, the length of the window is twice the width of the window. So here's the width of the window. If you multiply that by 2, because that's what twice means, does that match what you got here? True or false? All right, so put a T or an F next to that. Choice C, the area of the window is this. So multiply this number times this number, because remember area is length times width or base times height. And if you multiply those two numbers together, do you get this? Because if you do, then you would write true next to that. If you get some other number, then you're going to write false next to that. And then choice D, two sides of the window measure 90 degrees. So if you got 90 here, check to see, then that means you have two sides that are 90 degrees. So check to see if that is that what you got here, and if that's what you got there, then that would be a true statement. So remember, you're looking for the false statement or the one that's not true, and you're going to go ahead and pick that one. All right, good luck finishing this up.